In the early 1970s, the makers of Some Call It Loving set out to find the perfect cast for this unique film. Zalman King, who would both produce and star in the movie, had a clear vision for his character, a wealthy man obsessed with a beautiful but unattainable woman. For this role, he chose Richard Pryor, known mainly for his comedic work, but who also showed promise in dramatic parts. The female lead, a mysterious and captivating figure, required an actress able to convey vulnerability yet aloofness. After extensive screen tests, they found their ideal candidate in Tisa Farrow, whose ethereal beauty and acting chops proved to be an excellent fit for the part. Meanwhile, searching for the right supporting actors involved meticulous consideration too. They wanted someone charismatic and wise for the role of the jazz musician. After numerous auditions, they decided on jazz legend Les McCann, which added authenticity and depth to his portrayal. As shooting commenced, it became evident that maintaining harmony among actors would be crucial to bring out the desired emotional intensity. To foster camaraderie off-screen, regular group activities were organized, allowing them to bond and understand one another better personally. All these efforts ultimately contributing to exceptional on-screen chemistry during filming. Throughout the production phase, several instances highlighted the importance of effective casting decisions. One scene called for intense emotional exchange between two main characters, where Pryor delivered a heartfelt monologue. This moment demonstrated how choosing performers wisely could elevate scenes dramatically, making them more impactful and memorable for viewers. Similarly, when Farrow performed her hauntingly beautiful rendition of Waltzing Matilda, originally planned as background music, it transformed into a poignant centerpiece upon realizing her vocal talent. Such spontaneous enhancements further underscored the value of adaptive casting choices made during the creation of this classic film. In the early 1970s, director James B. Harris embarked on a unique project, crafting the movie Some Call It Loving. Harris's directorial vision was deeply rooted in his passion for storytelling and his desire to explore the complexities of human emotions. To bring this story to life, Harris drew inspiration from various sources. He was influenced by the French New Wave movement, which is evident in the film's unconventional narrative structure and its emphasis on character development over plot. Harris also admired the work of European art house filmmakers, which influenced his decision to cast international stars like Zorka Lesic and Tony Lobianco in lead roles. Harris's directorial style was characterized by his meticulous attention to detail and his commitment to creating a visually striking film. He worked closely with cinematographer John A. Alonzo to achieve a distinctive look for the movie, employing a muted color palette and using long takes to capture the actors' performances. In terms of collaboration, Harris fostered a close-knit relationship with his cast and crew. He encouraged improvisation on set, allowing actors to explore their characters' motivations and emotions in depth. This approach led to some memorable performances, particularly from Lobianco, who delivered a powerful portrayal of a troubled jazz musician. Harris also collaborated closely with the film's production designers, costume designers, and musicians to create a cohesive vision for the movie. The result is a film that feels like a fully realized world, with its own distinct style and atmosphere. Overall, Harris's directorial vision for Some Call It Loving was marked by his commitment to artistic expression and his dedication to crafting a unique and memorable film. Through his collaborative approach and his influences from European art house cinema, he created a movie that continues to resonate with audiences today. Some Call It Loving is a 1973 movie that you might remember. It's a classic film with a lot of interesting facts associated with it. Throughout this video, we'll share some funny, shocking, and sad details about the movie. Perhaps you have a cherished memory associated with this movie. Maybe you watched it with loved ones or it reminded you of a particular time in your life. We would love to hear your stories and memories in the comments below. The film features several well-known actors, but one who stands out is Zalman King. He plays a complex character who is both funny and sad. Many viewers have their favorite actors in the movie, and we're curious to know if Zalman King is yours. So, keep watching this video to learn more about the many surprising facts surrounding Some Call It Loving. And don't forget to share your memories and thoughts about the movie in the comments below. In the early 1970s, the movie Some Call It Loving took audiences by surprise with its unique storyline and captivating set design. The film's production team chose various locations that added depth to the narrative, transporting viewers to different environments and eras. One notable location was a stunning mansion in Los Angeles, which served as the primary setting for the story. This historic home, built in 1922, featured a mix of Spanish colonial and Mediterranean revival styles, providing an elegant backdrop for the film's dramatic scenes. The production designers went to great lengths to preserve the home's original features while adapting it to the film's needs. In addition to the mansion, the production team transformed a local nightclub into a 1930s-style jazz club, complete with vintage decor and authentic period music. This immersive setting allowed actors to fully embrace their characters and the film's time period. However, filming at these locations came with its share of logistical challenges. Coordinating shoots around the mansion's existing architecture and the nightclub's busy schedule required careful planning and flexibility. The crew had to work around the clock, ensuring that each scene was filmed efficiently while maintaining the highest production standards. To enhance the viewing experience, the filmmakers employed innovative techniques in cinematography and special effects. For instance, they used rear projection to create the illusion of characters driving in vintage cars, a method that was popular in the 1930s and 1940s but had fallen out of favor by the 1970s. This decision added a touch of nostalgia and authenticity to the film. Despite the challenges, the production team of Some Call It Loving managed to create a visually striking movie that resonated with audiences. The film's innovative techniques and thoughtful set design continue to captivate viewers, making it a classic example of 1970s cinema. The movie's ability to transport viewers to another time and place is a testament to the power of creative production design and the enduring allure of classic films. In 1973, the movie Some Call It Loving was released, showcasing the talents of its lead actress, Zoe Hall. Born on October 13, 1944, Hall brought to life the character of Jennifer, a woman who finds herself in a unique and complex situation. The film, directed by James B. Harris, explores the theme of unconventional love through its portrayal of a man, played by Tisa Farrow, who falls in love with a mannequin. The movie delves into the depths of human emotion and the lengths people will go to for love and companionship. Zoe Hall's performance as Jennifer is a standout aspect of the film. Her ability to convey complex emotions and reactions to the unconventional circumstances of the story is impressive. Despite the unusual subject matter, Hall's performance is grounded in reality, making it easy for the audience to connect with her character. The film's score, composed by Henry Mancini, adds to the overall atmosphere and mood of the story. The use of music in the film is effective in enhancing the emotional impact of certain scenes and in moving the plot forward. Some Call It Loving is a classic example of a film that challenges conventional norms and encourages viewers to think deeply about the nature of love and relationships. While it may not be a well-known film, it is certainly worth a watch for those who appreciate thought-provoking cinema. In conclusion, Some Call It Loving is a unique and memorable film that showcases the talents of its lead actress, Zoe Hall. The movie's exploration of unconventional love and its effective use of music make it a standout addition to the world of cinema. In the early 1970s, some notable talents came together to create the musical score and soundtrack for Some Call It Loving. This movie tells the story of a young woman living in a dream world constructed by her lover, who keeps her asleep with drugs and watches over her. The film's unique narrative and emotional tone required a special touch when it came to its music. The French composer Michel Legrand was chosen to lead the project, bringing his extensive experience in both jazz and classical genres. Having already won 2 Oscars for his work on The Thomas Crown Affair and Summer of '42, he proved to be an excellent fit. Collaborating closely with director James B. Harris, Legrand aimed to craft a score that would reflect the surreal atmosphere of the film, while highlighting its emotional depth. To achieve this goal, he incorporated various styles into his composition, from lush romantic themes to more experimental pieces driven by dissonance and unpredictability. One key aspect of the movie's music lies in its use of source cues, pre-existing songs carefully selected to enhance specific scenes. Among these choices were tracks like Song from Moulin Rouge, performed by Connie Francis, which punctuates a poignant moment between the main characters. Interestingly enough, another significant contribution comes from guitar legend Howard Roberts. His hauntingly beautiful electric guitar solos weave seamlessly throughout the fabric of Legrand's score, creating a fascinating dialogue between different musical languages. When asked about working on this project, Legrand shared his enthusiasm for blending diverse elements. "I love combining things that don't belong together, and I think that's what gives my music its originality." Indeed, his innovative approach shines through every note of Some Call It Loving's enchanting soundtrack. As for Roberts, he described their collaboration as a refreshing challenge. "Working with Michelle allowed me to explore new territories. It was exciting to see how our contributions could elevate each other." Ultimately, the combined efforts of these gifted artists resulted in a captivating musical journey that perfectly complements the mesmerizing tale of Some Call It Loving. Their dedication to pushing boundaries and finding harmony amid contrast continues to resonate, making this classic film an immersive sensory experience even today. In the casting process of Some Call It Loving, Olivia Hussey was one of the considerations for the role of Jennifer. However, due to budget constraints, James B. Harris couldn't hire Lalo Schifrin to compose the score. Instead, he brought in Richard Hazard, who had previously collaborated with Schifrin. Later, Harris did get the opportunity to work with Schifrin in Fast Walking. As for another notable figure associated with Some Call It Loving, Richard Pryor had an affair with Margot Kidder during their collaboration in Some Kind of Hero, released in 1982. Their professional relationship didn't end there. They also appeared together in Superman 3 the following year. In the movie, one of the most iconic scenes is when Jennifer dances with a mannequin. The scene is a powerful representation of the character's loneliness and isolation. The use of a mannequin, a symbol of inanimate life, highlights Jennifer's desperation and her yearning for connection. Director James B. Harris skillfully uses this unconventional prop to convey the depth of Jennifer's emotions. The stark contrast between Jennifer's lively movements and the mannequin's stillness creates a poignant atmosphere that resonates with the audience. Zora Lambert's performance in this scene is exceptional. Her facial expressions and body language convey a profound sense of longing and sadness. The way she moves with the mannequin, as though it were a living being, is both heartbreaking and mesmerizing. The cinematography further enhances the impact of this scene. The use of low-key lighting and shadowy sets adds to the eerie and melancholic atmosphere. The camera's close-ups of Lambert's face and the mannequin's lifeless stare create a sense of intimacy and unease. Lambert, in an interview, spoke about the scene. "It was a challenging scene to shoot, but also very rewarding. I felt that it captured Jennifer's loneliness and her desire for love in a powerful way. This scene has left a lasting impact on the audience and is often cited as one of the most memorable moments in the movie. Its exploration of loneliness and desire for connection continues to resonate with viewers today." In the original version of this classic, Some Call It Loving, Millie Perkins portrayed a nun, but her entire role was later removed from the final cut. During the filming, it was briefly known as Never Call It Loving. This movie marks James B. Harris's second directorial endeavor after the successful The Bedford Incident 8 years prior. Released in 1973, Some Call It Loving is a movie that explores complex themes of love, obsession, and identity. The film, directed by James B. Harris, features a jazz musician who becomes infatuated with a mannequin, eventually replacing it with a real woman who looks just like it. This unique storyline resonated with audiences, sparking conversations about the nature of love and relationships. The film's unconventional portrayal of love and relationships was a departure from traditional Hollywood storytelling, which may have contributed to its impact on pop culture. Some Call It Loving challenged conventional norms and expectations, encouraging viewers to think more deeply about their own relationships and the meaning of love. Moreover, the film's focus on jazz music and culture added another layer to its cultural significance. The movie's protagonist, a jazz musician, provided a window into the world of jazz, showcasing its beauty and complexity. This exposure to jazz culture may have influenced the genre's popularity and appreciation among audiences. The film also contributed to discussions on relevant social themes, such as the objectification of women. The mannequin in the film, which the protagonist becomes infatuated with, can be seen as a symbol of the objectification of women in society. This theme resonated with audiences, prompting discussions about the ways in which women are often reduced to objects in media and popular culture. In conclusion, Some Call It Loving is a movie that left a lasting impact on audiences and pop culture. Its unconventional portrayal of love and relationships, focus on jazz culture, and exploration of relevant social themes contributed to its cultural significance and continue to resonate with audiences today. After its initial release, the movie Some Call It Loving made its way back into the spotlight in July 2015 when it was released on DVD and Blu-ray in widescreen format. The film's unique style extended beyond the screen and into the wardrobe of one of its main characters, Robert, played by Zalman King. In fact, James B. Harris and King themselves ventured out to purchase all of the clothing that Robert wears in the movie. Some Call It Loving, a 1973 movie, received mixed reviews from critics. The film is an adaptation of John Collier's short story His Monkey Wife and showcases a unique narrative style. Noted film critic Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times gave the movie a positive review, praising its unconventional storyline and director James B. Harris's bold approach. Ebert wrote, "The movie is a triumph of style over content, of visual imagination over story logic." However, other critics were less enthusiastic. Vincent Canby of the New York Times criticized the film's lack of coherence and focus, stating, "The movie is so disjointed that it's often difficult to figure out what's going on." Despite the mixed critical reception, Some Call It Loving was nominated for the prestigious Palme d'Or Award at the 1973 Cannes Film Festival. This nomination indicates that the film was recognized for its artistic merit and innovation, even if it did not resonate with all critics. The film's nomination for the Palme d'Or is significant for those involved in the production, including director James B. Harris and actors Zora Lambert, Tisa Farrow, and Richard Pryor. This recognition can enhance their reputations and provide a platform for future projects. In addition to the Palme d'Or nomination, Some Call It Loving also received a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Original Song for All That Love Can Be. The film's soundtrack, composed by Fred Miro, was praised for its haunting and memorable melodies. The awards and nominations for Some Call It Loving demonstrate that the film made an impact in the film industry. Despite its mixed critical reception, the recognition from prestigious organizations like the Cannes Film Festival and the Golden Globes indicates that the film's bold and unconventional approach was appreciated by some critics and audiences. Upon its release, the movie, Some Call It Loving, received mixed reviews. While it was well received in Europe, being invited to the prestigious director's fortnight at the Cannes Film Festival, American critics were less kind, labeling it a curious oddity. The film quickly disappeared from screens due to negative word of mouth and lack of promotion. However, it has since gained a respectable cult following. During the filming, the production faced several challenges. Comedian Richard Pryor, who had financial troubles at the time, required James B. Harris, the writer, producer, and director, to pay for his flight to Los Angeles to get him to the set. Additionally, actress Carol White came down with a fever during the shooting, and Tisa Farrow broke her left arm. Despite these setbacks, the film was completed. Overall, Some Call It Loving is a movie that has had a varied reception, facing challenges during production and struggling in the U.S. market, but ultimately finding a following among moviegoers. In the early 1970s, the set of Some Call It Loving was a whirlwind of creativity and ambition. The film's director, James B. Harris, was determined to create a unique and unforgettable experience for audiences. To achieve this, he brought together a talented cast and crew, each with their own stories and experiences that would shape the final product. One day on set, the film's lead actress, Zora Lambert, was rehearsing a particularly emotional scene. As she delved into the character's psyche, she became so immersed in the moment that she accidentally pierced her hand with a prop needle. The crew rushed to her aid, but Lambert insisted on finishing the scene before seeking medical attention. Her dedication to the role left a lasting impression on the entire cast and crew. Meanwhile, the film's cinematographer, Laszlo Kovacs, was facing his own challenges. Known for his groundbreaking work on films like Easy Rider and 5 Easy Pieces, he was tasked with creating a visual style that matched the film's unconventional storyline. To achieve this, he experimented with a variety of techniques, including using a handheld camera to create a sense of intimacy and chaos. Despite the long hours and intense work, the cast and crew found ways to bond and have fun on set. One day, they organized a surprise birthday party for one of the production assistants, complete with a cake and streamers. The crew also took advantage of the film's Los Angeles location, often exploring the city's nightlife and cultural attractions during their downtime. As the film neared completion, the cast and crew knew they had created something special. Some Call It Loving was not only a visual and emotional tour de force, but also a testament to the power of collaboration and creativity. To this day, it remains a beloved classic, inspiring new generations of filmmakers and audiences alike. In the making of Some Call It Loving, Zalman King was the first actor cast. King's suggestion of Richard Pryor for the supporting role of Jeff proved to be a successful one, as Pryor was promptly cast shortly after. The story for this movie was discovered by James B. Harris while doing research for Stanley Kubrick's Lolita in 1962. He had come across John Collier's original story, which provided the inspiration for this classic. Some Call It Loving, a 1973 movie, might not be as well known as other films from the same era. However, it left an imprint on the world of cinema, particularly in the realm of unconventional love stories. The movie, through its unique narrative, explored themes that were considered daring and provocative during its time. This classic film, directed by James B. Harris, told the story of a man who falls in love with a mannequin. The film's boldness in dealing with unconventional love laid the groundwork for future filmmakers to delve into similar themes. It was a stepping stone in the world of cinema, pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in mainstream films. The movie's influence can be seen in later films that explore the concept of unconventional love and obsession. For instance, the 1999 film Mannequin, while not a direct adaptation, shares the same intriguing premise of a man falling in love with a mannequin. This demonstrates how the original idea can be reimagined and reinterpreted in different contexts. Moreover, the film's exploration of the human psyche, specifically in relation to love and obsession, has resonated with many filmmakers. This can be seen in films like Lars and The Real Girl, where a socially awkward man develops a romantic relationship with a doll. The film's sensitive portrayal of unconventional love and mental health issues owes a debt to the pioneering work done by Some Call It Loving. In conclusion, while Some Call It Loving may not be as celebrated as other films of its time, its impact on future filmmaking is undeniable. Its daring exploration of unconventional love and the human psyche has left a lasting legacy, inspiring future filmmakers to push their own boundaries and continue to explore these themes in their work. In the movie Some Call It Loving, the van driven by Robert Troy was actually owned by the actor who played him, Zalman King. Another notable aspect of the film is the improvisation of Richard Pryor, who came up with most of his own lines. Lastly, Troy's musical talent is demonstrated through his skillful playing of a baritone saxophone. In the 1973 film Some Call It Loving, a shocking tragedy occurred when the lead actress, Zooey Hall, suffered severe burns during the filming of a scene. A fire was intended to be a controlled effect, but it quickly spiraled out of control, leaving Hall with second and third-degree burns. Despite the accident, she continued to act in the movie, displaying great courage and determination. The movie itself is a dark and moody tale of a man, played by Tisa Farrow's real-life brother, John Farrow, who becomes infatuated with a lifeless mannequin. He purchases it and brings it to his home, where he treats it as if it were alive. The film takes a tragic turn when the mannequin is accidentally set on fire, leaving the man to grapple with his obsession and loss. Some Call It Loving is a thought-provoking exploration of obsession, loneliness, and the human condition. Despite the tragic accident that occurred during filming, the movie remains a classic example of the unique and daring films that emerged in the 1970s. Did Some Call It Loving leave a lasting impression on you? This 1973 movie, with its unique storyline, might have influenced your perspective on cinema. We'd love to hear about your experiences and memories related to this classic. How did the film impact you personally? Did it inspire you to explore new genres or styles in filmmaking? Perhaps it made you reflect on complex themes like love and obsession. We encourage you to share your thoughts, whether they're about specific scenes, characters, or the film's overall message. Your insights could spark meaningful conversations and inspire others to revisit this movie. Don't forget to engage with our community by liking and sharing others' comments. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to our channel for more cinematic explorations. We look forward to hearing from you and exploring the world of Some Call It Loving.